Alright, so we're going to be looking at ABBEY today, guys, and ABBEY is honestly just a really bad map for light tanks, but I'm going to show you in this replay and this video how you can manage ABBEY. We're going to actually use the free replay camera because I just downloaded Aslanes again, and as you can see, we're coming into the mid here. We're going to hit a shot to the EBR Hotch, and what I like to do from the start in a light tank, such as the Hawk 30, LT-432, T-54 lightweight, like really your German, Russian lights, things that have like even the Chinese lights, things that have good guns, you know, and can kind of brawl. Any light tank like that, like I wouldn't bring the even 90 here or the Manicore or those kinds of vehicles. I mean, you can, but I feel like it's more effective to do it with a tank that actually has a decent gun and can brawl. I like to come to this area of the map right here, or on the other side, I'll come to this little corner right here where this tree is. And what you can do is kind of hit people as they're coming up, you know, trying to rush to the mid. So we get 321 damage there right off the bat. It's, you know, not anything spectacular, but it's a good start, right? And here the T-29 is going to try and press me. Now, I'm spamming the map telling people like, look at this T-29. I know he's coming for me. He really, really wants me, man. He's coming around the corner. And I'm pinging him so that people are aware, and we have a lot of heavies over here, so I'm trying to get them to basically understand, like, look, you guys have shots, but they're all still kind of just poking here. They're not really taking a look. But luckily we have the Super Hellcat and the Scorpion back here, and also the CS-53 who's able to assist me. I don't even take any damage from that. And again, we get another shot into him, we get some spotting, and now we're at, what, like almost 800 combined from basically from the start of this game, just because the T-29 has YOLO'd me. But what I'm realizing is a really nice shot, the EBR there as well, right? But what I'm realizing is that we're going to be very heavy in the west, and we're going to be not so heavy at all in the east. And you'll kind of see how I manage that. Now, I want to pause and just kind of go to the replay camera, free replay camera, and show you guys real briefly how this map works, right? So I'm going to draw it out for you because I have my pen as well. I got a lot of these neat, you know, things to use to show you guys how this map works. So hopefully you're not on an iPhone or whatever, because this might be a little tricky to see, but I'm going to use my pen and draw it out for you. You have three spots, really three. I mean, this is a corridor map, so we'll just say this is Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. I did this before, right on Cliff, like the video I just recorded before this was on Cliff. It was yesterday, but I did this on Cliff, and I really liked the way I presented it, so I'm going to present it like this for you guys. So you have zones 1, zones 2, and zones 3, and what usually ends up happening is if you lose zone 2, at least this area right here, so we can call this, like, you know, zone 2.5 or whatever you want to call it, but basically this portion of zone 2 is what's going to control you know, this area right here and stuff, because from here you can spot tank destroyers that are going to sit like in this area for the most part, right? You shouldn't have much issue unless they're behind this building and stuff, but from this little spot I've been able to spot people in this area. And what you'll also find is that you'll spot people that are coming around this way, and you'll have shots, because I do that later on in the game. So this spot on the map is pretty important. That's why a lot of people like to YOLO it. And what it's also good for the enemy spawn is that it allows you to get a lot of shots at people that are going like this on the map, right? So if my teammates had won the east and they were pushing like this all the way up this line, this little pocket right here on the map gets you amazing shots going at people's backside as they're going up the east, and you'll also be able to hit people as they come around this corner in the far east, right, towards the north of this map. So that's kind of how the middle works. And then again, you have this other part of zone 2, which is kind of where you start brawling, and this portion of the map isn't as important, but if you do end up here trying to basically counter people that are in this area like I do, you got to be very, very careful of what's going on this side of the map. So let me kind of get over there a little further, and I'm going to show you, because what happens here is you'll be out here, like sitting even maybe around this building, right? Again, I hope you guys aren't on like a phone. It might be a little hard to see this, but if you're sitting in this area right here, what's going to happen is you're going to have heavies. They're going to have shots on you from these little pockets. And when I was a newer player, I would always get caught out here by people that were, you know, poking out of these little areas. There's actually 3 little areas. I'll just call them like windows, basically, where you can poke out if you're brawling on the heavy line over here, and you can shoot someone in this area. So if you are in this middle area, be very careful about that. However, you can do the same thing from down here as well. You can smack shots at people that are going to drive across like this. So if you do win this area of the map, you also have shots going this direction. Just do that. So hope you guys can see these big arrows. You have shots going that direction as well. So that's why this Zone 2 area is so important, because you can control a good portion of the map. However, I wouldn't say it's as powerful as a map like Mines, because there are ways kind of around still being able to win the game and progress while the enemy has this one. So the east portion of this map is also very important. Again, we're calling this Zone 3. This particular area of Zone 3 is vital, because what this spot on the map allows you to do is basically counter anyone in this area, and depending on what spawn you're from, you can challenge people that are in this area as well, and you can also challenge people in this entire area, right? I love using this little pocket right here to spot tank destroyers that sit like right in here, or anyone who's sitting like in these areas. You'll be able to light them from this area. So ABBEY is like honestly one of those maps where it's really small and kind of condensed, but there's actually a lot going on this map. Like, it took me a long time to really fully understand ABBEY. Like, there's just so much going on this map, you really have to pay attention to everything around you. Whereas on Mines, I feel like you have, your certain sides of the map, and then it's very easy to understand that the hill can basically see everything on the map just about. But ABBEY is like, it's even more complicated, right? Like, you would think that such a small map is not very complicated, but I'm telling you guys, maybe some of you disagree, but I find this map to be quite complicated for a newer player to really grasp and understand everything that's going on this map. So again, Zones 1, Zones 2, Zones 3, this is where your heavies are going to go. So this Zone 1 is where your heavies are going to go. Zone 2 is usually your light tanks, mediums, brawling tank destroyers maybe, and then here is like tank destroyers and mediums over here. I have such bad 3s when I draw 3s, but I'll get better, right guys? I like this pen feature that I can use to show you guys. But that's how this map works, and that's where people are going to go. Again, Artie, like, I never really talk about Artie, but you can sit like back here in Artie, here, wherever you want, and you can also sit, back in these spots with Artie, wherever you want to go with Artie. And you can even go here if you want to focus the heavy line. That's an option. And then also you'll get tank destroyers again that will sit here and back here in these areas to try and get shots going to the middle of this map. So there's just so much going on, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and continue with the replay now. And we'll kind of see how I manage what happens on this map, right? Because we sent a lot of people to the west, we have a decent amount of people in the mid as well, and we have a couple tank destroyers back here, but we're very weak on the east side. And in my eyes, we're likely going to lose the eastern portion of this map. In fact, we've basically already lost it. So now you can see from here where I have shots, right? Again, I described that in the free replay camera. You can shoot people here, and say I was on the enemy spawn. Well, if I get here and the south spawn is pushing up this way, you can see how easy those shots would be, right, into the backside of all these tanks. That would push the 8-9 line, or Zone 3, or the east, right? So also you have shots going towards these people. You can see where the CS-44 is, right? So if these guys get lit, I have shots even from here as well, right? I can take shots on the CS-44. And then what I'm doing now is just, you guys have seen this on the map. I've told you we've lost the east. I'm going to have shots from this little corner on people that are pushing from the east. So that's what I want to do here. I am loading the heat because, sometimes these tanks, like, their armor is a little trollish. I really could use the APCRs to pen the T26E4, but what I'm waiting for is like the CC to maybe turn a little bit, and then I can get a shot into him as well. And I'm looking for a shot at the E50 as well. I'm looking for shots into all of these guys, basically. So I'm going to get a shot into the CC there as well, and I'm just kind of ripping these guys apart as they're pushing in, right? And I want to stay here, because if I stay here now, right, if I'm able to stay here, just move this WNA thing a little bit. If I'm able to stay here, then I can light my base. So that's why it's important for me to be in this position right now. Even though, yeah, maybe some other parts of the map could use my help, I'd rather be right here spotting the base. Because look, we're going to be able to absolutely wreck this T26E4. He doesn't look like a very good player. He doesn't understand the crossfire, and that's fine. Like, not everyone understands how the maps work, and this is why I want to emphasize to you guys, Abbey is kind of complicated. This guy's now caught out in the wide open, right, where I have all these shots into him. He's smart enough to finally turn his tank and, you know, go take. He's basically, what he's doing is putting the front of his tank towards me, and his frontal armor is much more powerful, so I can't pen, right? But geez, I don't even know who got a shot to him there. It might have been from this side, actually, the Scorpion or the Hellcat, and they were able to clean him up because then he, you know, turned his side to them, right? But anyway, that guy got caught out there, and it's an easy cleanup for me. Like, I'm able to just wreck that guy, you know, just rip him apart. And you can do that from this little area of the map. So that's why the Zone 2, again, is pretty dang important on this map. However, there are ways to counter it, right? There are ways to push around it, in my opinion. So now I'm just going to press into the CC. I kind of run right into this guy, but I don't want to actually go behind him because where he was, it was better for me to just run around him at that point, and now I can stay behind him. However, this guy is so bad at the game that he decides to just dive into the water and go for a swim. So whatever, man, you know, if you want to throw away 1300 HP, go for it. He does, and it would have been nice if I could have farmed him, right? But that's what he decides, and he kills himself, and, you know, whatever, man. I really don't like people that do that because I feel like it's just, it's not that I could get more damage, right? But it's like, dude, just try. Like, at least try to do something, right? Don't just like throw your tank off the edge of a cliff. That isn't, you know, gonna do anything for your team, right? But I'm gonna push in now. I kind of have to ram the Hellcat here because, you know, he's trying to go around this tank or whatever, but it is what it is, and now we're going to push into the E50. My assumption is that the E50 is going to be sitting in this little corner right here, but he's not here. This is a really good spot to go to if your team has basically melted off the map and you're just looking for some last second damage or last minute damage, whatever, before you die as well. You can sit in this little area because there's bushes here and there's trees and bushes here, and you can, you know, get away with staying fairly hidden, I'll say, right? So now we're going after the E50. He ends up being in this area on the like 8 line here, and again, you can see where he has some shots, right? So we're able to clean him up. I give this guy a nice salute here. I'll pause it right here because this is probably the thumbnail that I'll use, and that's the game. But how I managed this one, guys, I know I talk really fast as the replay is going, but how I was able to manage this was basically I was sitting here in this area defending the base from the guys that were pushing east, right? And then we kind of won the north because we sent more people that way, and we ended up winning the mid as well, and I assisted with winning us the mid. And once you win most of the map, usually you're going to win the game. But again, Abbey is just one of those maps where you have so much going on, and I really want you guys again to take one last look at what you can do from the mid here. I also didn't mention that from the mid you have shots going this way as well. So from the mid, ultimately, like, if I could just show you guys like every single angle you have from the mid. Let me see. There we go. You have shots going this way towards people over here. You have shots like right here going this way. However, this is kind of a risky area because you're in the open here, so if you get lit, yeah, it's a little tricky, man. From here, you have shots going out like this to people that are going to be like going through here. You can also contest this. You can even have shots of people that are pushing in like this right here. And then you have shots going out this way as well towards my base and towards the other corner of the east, right? So this is why it's so important that you take this area of the map, and it's why everyone rushes to it, because it is pretty vital, right? You have shots going everywhere. But again, this east portion of the map is also very important because when you get up here, you have shots going at a lot of different areas as well. But you also have these little windows over here where you can shoot from the west. So again, there's just so much going on. And then when you push either of the west sides, you have this area right here and you have this little area right here where you can get shots going this way and you can get shots going this way. There's just so many opportunities for crossfire on this map. You just have to pay attention to everything. I can't explain it all to you guys. I hope that this helps you enough on this map. But again, if you have any questions, let me know below, but just always be watching the map when you play this on this map. Always be watching the mini map when you play on this map, guys, is what I meant to say. Always, always, always be looking at where people are, because I'm telling you, you might think you're safe, you're probably not in the position you're in. So that's all for Abby, guys. Again, it's my hope that I didn't confuse you further and that you're able to learn from everything I was talking about. Here's the emplates. We got second class, 3k damage. We didn't do much spotting here. 1079 experience, 2 kills. Their Lorraine and AE Phase and E50 all played pretty good games, man. But we were just overall the better team. Like, they had 3 people do 0 damage, you know. And look at my VK, 4,500 damage, man. Really good player with a great game, it looks like there. And that's it. So 11.7k we made from this, guys. And getting close to 4k combined here, like almost 3,700 combined. But I like to really round up. You know, trying to inflate those numbers to make myself sound better now. But that's it, guys. And if you're wondering how I have the Hawk 30 set up now, I do run it with Brothers in Arms. I use the Bounty low noise exhaust optics CVS in the scouting slot, and that actually gets me over 41% concealment and like 507 view range with recon almost full and situational awareness on here as well on the commander. So this tank, this is why you see me playing this tank in so many replays, because I love this thing, dude. Like, the HE is so powerful. It has APCR standard rounds which hit for like 240. The view range is insane. The concealment is good. The accuracy is actually pretty dang good if you see up here. So like, everything about this tank is just really, really good, that I like it over the LT432 and the Even 90 now. So I play it all the time. If you enjoy this type of content, guys, do subscribe. It really, really helps me out. Like and comment on the video. That will certainly help it get recommended more. And again, drop any questions below and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye-bye.